All right, cold will be expanding across the northern tier of the United States as we get toward Thanksgiving week, and that's going to set us up for what's probably going to be a pretty cold start to December. And for once, I think we're going to have better chances, especially in the northern U.S. and even in the West for a white Christmas. But cold is definitely coming. And with that, once you increase the cold, you increase the chances for snow, and that's what we're going to be talking about on the feed here. I want to show you some headlines here. I haven't really changed anything. As we get into late next week, there's not going to be any problems this week. It's going to be turning colder from the lakes to the northeast and also into the plains. Now, there's going to be a piece of energy. I'm going to show you this. Where do you see the difference in this piece of energy yesterday compared to today? And this is what happens in long-range forecasting. But that little piece of energy, as we get in the late next week, could put down a little bit of snow from like Minneapolis toward Caribou, probably not Boston, probably not Chicago, but that's our initial area of snow. And then as we head into early December, the cold's going to start becoming more extensive, all the way down into the plain states, the front range of the Rockies. Cities like Denver, which haven't had any snow, I think you're going to have an opportunity by early December. And that's the areas that watch for snow from the plains toward New England. And remember, as I always say, whenever you get an injection of cold air coming in to the United States, you always have chances for snow. 2 chances along the front end and then as the cold air gets established. Now, remember yesterday we were looking at the weekend as far as what was going to happen with that digging dip in the jet stream, and I was telling you there was a chance that there would try to be a significant snow in New England, or a storm would form in the Carolina coast, or either come up the coast or get pushed offshore. I want to show you the differences, and you see this a lot. And this is the great thing about the feed, because now I'm showing you what I look at. I want to go back. This was yesterday. You see this dip in the jet stream that we're looking at here? Let me turn on my pen. Well, my pen's not working for some reason here. But anyway, we're looking at this big dip in the jet stream in here. You see that right there? Now, this is what it looked like yesterday. And then if that would happen, you'd get a storm to form here, and it would come up the coast and would hit New England with snow. You don't have that right now. Let me show you what it looks like today. So there it was, yesterday's run. Look at today's run. Look at the difference. You see this all the time. Now, this appears like that is going to be more of a flat system coming out. Now, with that, you're going to have to watch this piece of energy, because I'm still skeptical that the modeling is correct. But if you get any snow, it will depend on how much this piece of energy comes southward here. And you can see how the modeling takes that red across the lakes and then eventually into New England. Now, it's interesting to note, as I show you the American model, that same time frame here, as we go forward. So this is the European here. You see how it has that piece of energy? This is Saturday morning up across the lakes. You see that area near Green Bay? The GFS has no sign of it. No sign of it. But all modeling shows one thing. It's going to start getting colder as we head into next weekend and early next week. I do believe that there's going to be at least some little piece of energy coming out here as we move in. And again, this is the energy that we're going to be watching right in here as we get into Thursday, Friday next week. If that is truly coming east, you're going to get a little band of snow associated with that. Let me show you what it looks like on the surface map, the European. See that? This is Friday morning. You see the blue? Minneapolis, Green Bay, Saginaw, and perhaps a little bit of snow central in New York State. Won't be a lot, but I think this is an area to watch for next weekend, right in here, right there, for a little bit of snow next weekend. Won't be a lot, maybe a coating to an inch or two, but that begins at least getting some snow on the ground and getting some cold air here. Now, moving forward, though, as we get into early December, there's better agreement here that things are going to be getting colder here. I want to take you into early December. This is the European model. Now, here's the key here. You're starting to see northwesterly flow. You see that? even the American model shows the same thing. More of a storm here in the west, but you see, you're really starting to build a cold here with this flow. This is the European model. You've got this upper low over James Bay, and what happens is you really start building the cold in these areas as we head into early December. So this is the week after Thanksgiving, and you just see this constant west-northwest flow that continues to bring in the cold air across the eastern half of the United States. You see that? This would allow the cold air to come all the way down into the plains and start getting established in the northeast and mid-Atlantic. And that's always the first step. Let me show you the surface map during this time. And I want you to focus on the blue line. You see, here comes some cold. You see that across the country Wednesday into Thursday of next week. What I think is going to happen is the first week of December, and I'm going to show you the map here. You're going to start getting cold air early first week in December coming into the plains, and I believe that we're going to start putting down snow the first week of December. Front range of the Rockies. It's probably going to stay north of toward Chicago, toward Detroit, probably into New England. This is an area that we're going to start seeing snow the week after Thanksgiving, mostly in the upper Midwest. But I will say this, moving forward as we get into the second week of December, look at this Arctic air. That's going to come south. And I think it's with this air mass we really have to start watching cities like New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Kansas City for some snow. Second week of December. Winter is coming. Get ready. And that's the feed.